This is the Lift Up podcast.
We're live.
We're live on both.
All right, we're live.
Good to go.
We got Tommy C and Kalil Hunt in the house tonight. You smell it already, huh?
Yeah.
Steve's opening up the smelling salts.
Smelling salts already?
Bro.
The juju.
Oh my! Dude, just from here. I swear.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Those are fuck.
Is that a fresh bag?
Oh, it hasn't
It's
even
the
been
world's
opened.
strongest.
And he hasn't even, dude. It's just the bag.
All I did was open
There's
the seal.
there's a sealed container in there. And you can smell it. Oh my!
Going first.
Whoa! Hell yeah! So we got Kalil Hunt, fresh off his win,
Howdy, howdy.
Oh,
the
God.
Kingslayer. Fresh off your win.
In the building.
Yes, sir.
Get close to that mic,
Oh,
Kalil.
yeah.
You don't talk loud enough.
Man, it did not feel real. I'm just going to
It
put it.
didn't feel real.
It didn't feel real.
He should be on Steve's.
I didn't feel like I was there.
So, what do you mean by that? Yeah, there you go.
I mean, like, all the,
Whoa, fuck! Jesus Christ!
all the training I did, like,
Good God.
nonstop, balls to the walls for, like, you know, however long straight, probably 2 or 3 months straight.
Yeah.
And then just for 54, what was it?
54 seconds.
54
or
seconds.
a minute 15, something like that.
That's
but
way up.
it did not feel real. Like afterwards, I was like, "Damn, that was like." I think it was weird. My first fight, when I got TKO'd, I got up and asked. I was like, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
And then my second fight, you know, when I won that fast, I got up. I was like, "Is
I mean,
that
if you
it? What the hell?"
Talking about your first fight, like that first round. I mean, you controlled the first round
Yeah, it felt
until about the last 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Then you could tell in the last couple, like 15, 20 seconds of that round, you could tell you were gassed. But
The first match.
Yeah, the first
match
fight.
for sure, 100%.
But you controlled that. I mean, you were like, anybody that knows anything about fighting watches that fight.
You're still winning.
You're going out of round one. If that comes to the decision, you're winning round one. And in my opinion, up until you get knocked out,
You were still winning.
I would say it was either a draw or you were winning in round two. I mean,
Round 3 would have made a break.
yeah. It was only another 20 seconds to the. It was only another. It was like
Yeah.
20 seconds left, right?
Yeah, like 15, 20
Yeah.
seconds left, and he would have made it to the third if he just circled out a little bit and hung in there.
Yeah. What do you think about the difference between the first fight you took on very short notice, not a lot of prep, really about 6 weeks of striking experience, and
my bad, bro.
no, that's his game, man. That's why we hired him.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Maybe
I'm trying to get this to where
tighten that down. We got some nice squeaks. Got some good squeaks going. Just going with it. This is our the turn. Yeah,
That'll work, bro.
yeah.
Here, I'll just stay
Scoot
right
in,
here.
Yeah, that's much
Khalil.
better. There.
Just
Stay
scoot.
right here.
There you go.
I feel like I'm too
We just
far in.
grappled for like an hour.
Yeah.
I don't have cooties.
I know. I just feel like I'm
What do you?
too far in.
That's what she said.
What was the biggest difference for you between, like, obviously the second one we did like a full on camp.
That and then, dude, definitely my striking, and I have right here with me to my left, my striking coach Tommy Sealock.
Coach Tommy C.
Best of the best.
So
try.
the last time you were on, Tommy, we had literally just announced that we were launching our striking program. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't even official. Like, that was the
No.
day that we made it
We
official.
were like, cool, let's do it.
yeah, the day you were on the podcast was like, hey, we're gonna do this, and we still had a wall up. We didn't have the space. We weren't even sure that the wall was coming down at that point.
It was a dream. It was a pipe dream.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if this is going to happen. We're going to knock the wall down. Maybe nobody will sign up. And yeah, it's exploded.
It's on your lip. There you go.
It has, and it's been a dream. It's been a wild ride so far.
Absolutely.
3 months in, and I mean,
The program is booming.
It feels like the longest 3 months of my life because I knew what it was going to take to get something started from scratch. And it really started with Kalil. And he's had a lot of the attention because we need to go out there and show people what we can do.
so we'll be honest on two fronts. First, when we sat in September, October of last year and came up with all these plans, right? I was like, I just hope. Like, my only hope was that we just don't lose our ass, right? Like that was like, I did not envision that by March we would have the program sustaining itself for the most part, you know, or at least pretty close, you know.
We literally would go back and forth text message like, man,
Yeah, I mean, like,
Let's
because
see what happens.
we've had so many, like bad experiences of just like, oh, should we do this now? Like, we're in a good spot. Like, is this the right time to do this? You know what I mean? Like, it kind of like everything just fell into place. And then on top of that, we get the fight for Kalil out of the blue, right?
No, Kalil got the fight.
Without telling us. And that's the second front I want to be honest about. And me and
shout out to my uncle, Coulter Hunt, bro. He
for sure.
hangs out with the promoters and stuff. And
And so that's my other thing is I'm like, that's my other honest moment. Like, as much as I wanted you to go out there and kill
were
ass,
pissed.
I was like, first of all, this motherfucker takes this fight, doesn't tell us until after he's taken it. Then,
No. He told us like what, 2 weeks, a week?
yeah, some shit.
It was like 2 weeks
a month.
prior.
By the way, I got a fight, man. Yeah.
I was like,
So-
hey Tommy, he accepted a fight. Wait, what?
I mean,
I almost.
100% honest. I'm
I thought he was
backstage.
joking. I thought you were joking.
We're back in the warm up areas, and me, Tommy, and Steve are having questions like, I just hope he doesn't get embarrassed. Like, you know what I mean? Because you didn't have any prep, right? Like, I mean, you had very
I
limited
wasn't worried
prep.
about your ground game.
Oh,
But
absolutely
stand up,
not.
I was like, man, I don't want this guy to get hit in the chin.
Yeah,
I don't
nah.
know if he's got a hard chin, soft
I've
chin.
been rocked before. Like, I've been in fights.
No, absolutely, but
Quite
it's
a
just
few.
it's a matter of also not knowing the unknowns of how experienced Austin Rice is, right?
yeah,
like
dude.
so
That we found out.
you
That
know,
we found out that he was
we found out the night before the fight that he's got. That was what we were worried about. Is that we thought this guy was a true amateur, and
Everything
not
that-
against him. Once you got 10 fights, you might still be fighting amateur because you've never fought a pro fight.
He should have been pro anyway.
But at this point,
He's good. He's good.
10 fights in, you're close to going pro, right? Like that's
That's a lot. Yeah.
that's a lot of fights.
Even if it's kickboxing.
So everything kind of falls into place. You go out there and you put on a great show. I mean, yeah, you lost, but I mean, that could have gone.
It opened a lot of people's eyes.
It could have
felt
gone.
good.
Really did.
It could have gone so many other ways easily. I mean, you could have been knocked out just as quick as you
Yeah.
took out this guy, right? And it would be like, so super impressive, and the stars kind of just aligned for us, and the dream is, I mean. Because of you, it's ramped up quicker, right? Like that's like me, Tommy, and Steve have talked about this several times, and it's like because of you that it's escalated quicker than any of us had thought it would.
That's 100%. I think why.
Like look at where we started, right? We started with you had no sponsors, you had no striking capability whatsoever,
striking.
other than what you know for street fighting, if you want to say.
Windmills.
That's it. Windmills, choreographed, and telegraphing punches.
it was brutal. I
And
remember.
other
his
than that,
first
like
day.
your ground game, because I pride myself in what we have taught here.
I think we got the best ground game in the 918, and I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but it's like you got judo, you got wrestling, you got jiu-jitsu, and we don't just teach you don't just teach just one form of jiu-jitsu.
Hybrid.
Here. Exactly, yeah, and it's like that hybrid form of grappling. That's what. I mean, it's gonna save your ass in a lot of situations. Like,
I think a lot of people realize that, right? Like that's a
Yep.
big thing of
Total package.
a lot of people have come here from other places and joined us, and look, no disrespect to the other places, but
Oh, they're good. They're good too. But
there's a lot
I
of-
think that speaks volumes for what you guys got.
Right.
We did this shit pretty
when it
quick.
comes to that,
I mean, look. Let's go back to, a former student, right? A former student here, absolutely stud. Went from being skin and bones. We're talking about Chachi, Joshua Wisniewski. I'm sorry. Absolutely was not as confident as he was.
no, absolutely not.
To now, I mean, look at him.
Right.
Once I promoted him to his blue belt,
Beefcake.
he's been stuffing adults. I mean, folding adults.
Yeah, and look at the respect that he garners, and I mean, and look, they train other places now, and that's fine. But the respect that he garners from, and I mean, that's all what he learned here, right? Like that. and
That also has to do with his father's very regimented. He's very scheduled, and that's one thing I loved about those two. So like that's a prime example of what we build here. You know what I mean? Like look at Violet.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Well, she's the next
Violet's-
one, right? Like she's
a female version of Chachi.
And she's coming
Up
up
and
fast, bro.
I mean, look at and then our adults. Our adults. I mean, you guys are out there banging out. You got this 50-year-old in a couple months over here,
Yeah.
Jamie, aka Jason.
Can't hold Pop out down.
No.
So, like I said, and now look at you. We're about to hook you up with another sponsor that we've been talking about. Cleveland
Yep.
Can we-
We'll shout them out once it's final.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're not mention them until it's final, but we will mention your fight. So you do have another fight.
Yes.
It's official.
April when?
19.
Yeah, buddy.
And the opponent.
I think his name is Trenton Barr, right?
Trenton Barr.
That's right. And
He is 0-1 in MMA. He's 0-1 in kickboxing, or 1-0 in kickboxing and
I think he's
0-1
1-1.
in boxing.
Whatever they said.
yeah,
But his last fight was 2018.
Yeah.
supposedly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look,
but
I don't trust any of it.
We don't sleep on that.
Or he been training
We're not going to sleep on that because the first fight, like,
We're gonna take it as he's been training for 5
Yeah.
years.
They
for his
said-
whole life. Shit.
His whole life.
That's how I try to
He's
look
a
at it
beast.
now, because like you never know who you're
Yeah,
stepping
no,
in there
for
with.
sure.
Like,
Yep.
for real. Like,
Yep.
And we also want to give a shout out to AKA Mother's Milk,
for real.
Julia.
Love you, baby.
Yes.
Julia has been his side, by his side, like through the whole entire thing. We, talking to her and try to let him know, like, we're gonna take care of him. We're gonna make sure he's good to go. He's safe at all times, healthy. And then she's at home taking care of you.
Care of
well,
me,
I think
me, Junior,
I think
and
any fighter will talk.
Junior.
I mean, like Jimmy talked about it, right? Like you got to have a support system. Like that's the whole reason he retired initially was because of the lack of a support system. Like that, that support system fell down with his dad, and that relationship had crumbled, and that his brother and his dad, and that was his support system. And then once that crumbled and wasn't there, it was not as easy to do. So having a support system is the key to
Straight up.
for sure.
For sure.
And like, yeah, not having that when I was younger, like really a support system. I wish I would have found this shit when I was like a kid, dude.
Yeah.
This stuff right here changes. Everyone I've seen who does it, it changes their lives.
Did that just pop?
Yeah. That scared the shit out of
God,
me.
I don't even. Oh, Steve got the first real whiff there. Oh man!
I'm glad I'm over here.
Oh no!
See, now I gotta do it. Now I gotta do it here.
Oh,
Right.
no.
Does it feel like
Alright,
pepper
everybody's
spray?
gonna do it. But yeah, man, that's really cool. Oh my god! She's got your back. It's a family thing. None of this is ever just one person, some fighter up there by themselves.
wow.
Behind every fighter, there's a whole team of training partners, coaches, family, sponsors. It really is. It's funny. People say it's an individual sport. It always just felt like a team sport
Oh,
to
yeah,
me.
dude.
Like,
Waff it.
You better be careful opening that. You
What-
crack that, it's gonna.
oh no.
Oh, how did he get it that close? I was dying at. Oh my gosh! Like Kalil.
Steve knows how.
Good God.
Oh yeah.
Imagine that's gonna wake you up if you ever get knocked out, like fully knocked out.
That was not as bad as I was expecting. But
Well, no, it's because you're expecting it a little more.
He's got to.
Look, do not sniff. And I just took a big old inhale.
It says that. It
I
says
put
do not
worse
sniff.
shit up my nose.
Here we go.
I can still smell it.
Oh, no.
That's it. Huh?
You gotta do it. No, let's go.
Come on,
Come
Ellison.
on.
Come
Don't be a
on,
bitch.
come on, Jamie.
I put
Jamie.
worse shit up my nose. Come on, man.
Oh, dang! That's a good whiff right there.
Oh, I kind of like it.
You know,
It's kind of clear.
you're like you're like Theo Vaughn when he was doing it on Joe Rogan. He kept opening it and like sniffing it like
Let me see that shit.
yeah, like,
Hurt my nose hairs.
yeah, I did too. I'm like,
Dude, my nose is leaking.
oh shoot!
I think it's because I'm so congested I can't smell it.
Whoa.
Could be that. Look at him! Look at him! Look at him! That's crazy. But as Tommy was saying,
eyes are
there's
watering.
definitely
His eyes.
Well, I'm definitely awake.
it's definitely there's definitely a support system that's needed, and it's definitely a team. I mean, it's an individual, but there's a team behind everybody.
Absolutely.
So, for sure. Oh my God!
Absolutely.
All right, I'm putting this
Yeah, put that back in the bag,
That's
Needs to stay in the bag.
man.
I think the way how the timing's worked out, especially with his training, since I don't have a huge program, I can give him a lot more time and attention.
Oh, straight up.
And that's how we were
For
able
sure.
to get through these first couple fights, because a lot of the initial days, it was just him, me up here, just sparring,
Yeah, yeah.
and training, and like.
Well, back
trying
in like when we were doing it as free, we weren't even doing it. It wasn't even a program.
No,
really.
it was just once a week. That's how it started.
It's still in the air.
It's bad, man.
It's strong.
That's how it started, though. I was like, hey, I wanted to continue my own training and spar, and never thought it would grow into this or evolve into
Yeah.
a full-on program. But
You and me both, man. I had high hopes for sure. But as a businessman, look at it and I'm like, oh, you know, how's this gonna go?
And,
Go grab my phone.
you know,
Picture.
the thing for me is I've been an entrepreneur before. I've been a
How are y'all
professional
talking
teacher.
right now? What
Well,
the hell?
I don't know, man.
But
A lot of stuff, a lot of snorting up the nose, I guess, from these from us.
But I think a big part of our success
That's
is from
an
day
experience.
one. We've had a structured curriculum, step-by-step systems, and I went into it with a game plan, a
Oh, it's bad
playbook,
today, but who cares?
and take all the building blocks to take someone from zero
Oh,
to
yeah.
basically
That's
competent.
all
And that's what we've really worked on is just the fundamentals, basic stuff, cleaning him up. And the other thing is we are not trying to be like the best Muay Thai gym in the world. We're supposed to focus specifically on the sport of MMA and strategies for that sport and winning in that sport, whether that's good, bad, or ugly. So that's
And I think
really
that's the difference between what we're building here, right? Like we're focusing on trying to
Tommy.
develop develop a program that is MMA centric,
Yes.
right? Like we're not, you know, some places, we're Muay Thai or we're boxing, or
Right.
just stand, you know, and so it's like we're trying to through all of our programs, BJJ Judo
We
and our
weave it all
MMA program,
into-
we're trying to intertwine, and I think, you know, you probably can, you know, speak a little bit to how effective that has been. I mean, because it led to, I mean, I would say that,
Before you hit in on this real quick, I don't know if you said it, but we're not claiming to be, you know, kickboxers or
no,
any of
that's
that.
what Tommy was hitting on.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
know.
what I was saying is we're not trying to be the great Muay Thai gym. We're training specifically for the sport of MMA. We're like moneyballing this thing. Like, hey, this is our sport. We're not trying to be anything else. And whether that's beautiful technique or not, it is in its own way, but it's tailored specifically for that sport. And that's why we're having success by focusing on only competencies that are relevant to the sport of MMA, and then setting these guys up knowing we have the best grappling program. How do we set up a striking game that
do we
feeds
build
into
on it?
that,
Yeah.
that builds into it, that sets them up and takes them to where they want to take the fight, which is getting it to the ground.
So I want to ask you something, but I want to play the beginning of this fight, unmute that and play that. This is the first fight, and I want to ask you a few questions about the first
Oh man, go ahead.
fight. Unmute that first.
Everything, dude.
The tallest man, he looks like a character off Attack on Titan, like that.
He looks like a Titan.
He does. He looks like the tall.
My boy is a Titan.
And Frank, tonight these young
Look at him. He doesn't even. He has to duck to get into the cage. He's taller than the dang cage. This 155. This man was the tallest fighter in the building.
Yeah.
Skyscraper.
So at this point, we're still backstage. And what's going through your head at this moment?
I'm just like,
Because I know how nervous I was, and I'm not even going to fight.
honestly, I think y'all were more nervous than me, bro.
right.
That's
I know I was.
I was super
I was
nervous.
shitting bricks. Because I'm like, if he gets knocked out, this is gonna look terrible for me.
Dude,
No
I
one's
kind of
gonna
tried to
sell-
John
Our program's
Jones it,
over.
and I smoked
Hasn't
a
even
blunt
started and our
like
program's
a
over.
dumbass. I quit smoking for that shit. For the last one.
Oh,
so.
and that's good. And
This one I smoked beforehand.
You smoked beforehand, and we all knew it, and we were all calling you idiots
we were
before.
like,
Didn't you take an edible too before?
Yeah, dude, calm my ass down. That shit did not work.
Well, of course not. That's why a lot of places they test for it.
Right now,
Life's learning program.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu out of
But
Cohesion.
hey,
You know,
I
both these
think
guys,
I heard that out of
and
Cohesion.
now
it's not like one guy has.
There we are, walking
he is
out.
walking
That was,
out.
dude,
I'm
that
like
was-
looking around. I'm like, oh shit, this don't really
How
feel
did that-
real.
how did that
It
feel?
did not- I
didn't
swear to
feel
God,
real. You're floating.
It was awesome.
It feels like you're in a dream for a second. You're just like,
I mean, I didn't get to get your second one, but it was awesome to be able to be there for the first one and walk out there. And
it's surreal.
And also good to know that the other guy.
But
How awesome was it to hear Frank Mir commentate?
to watch him walk back.
Oh, that was super cool.
To watch him like walk through, like where
And
we were
walk
at,
by us?
He was like,
yeah, he put his hand on my shoulder. He's like, "Excuse me, guy."
I was like, holy
I bet you
shit.
didn't want you to take a bath for a couple days.
I haven't watched that hoodie yet. I haven't watched that yet.
Your preparation to where you're.
I had no idea. Like I knew it was gonna be nice.
Look
But
how red my eyes are.
I know. We all know.
Yeah, we knew you were.
Videos from the second fight?
There is no official video. Jason has the
on
only.
Facebook.
Deal with the nerves.
Yeah, we'll pull it up in a second.
I'll show you.
We'll go to that in a second.
But
But
for you, not against you.
so that was so.
tonight to see how fast these young
Where's your head at right in this first fight? Like where you?
I'll tell you where it
right
was.
there, I
He
was
forgot
like-
his socks.
Yeah.
He left his shoes
Wasn't that
on.
hilarious? I was like, "Where you going, Cleo? Where you
I was
going?"
like, oh, yo, I gotta take these shits off.
Yeah, I was like, "Where you going, Cleo?"
And this
Going
is
into it
foreshadowing right here.
We'll see which
I'm talking to him right here. I'm like, hey, man,
right now.
can I knee him in the face? He's He's like, what?
Is that what
Can
you
I knee
asked
him
him?
in the face?
I was wondering what you asked him there.
I
What
asked
did he
him
say?
He's like, yeah, you can knee him in the face. So I was like, cool. That was foreshadowing.
3 rounds.
Not in a good way.
Yeah, not in a good way.
Mixed martial arts bout.
That was his game plan.
He was, yeah, that's exactly what
That dude threw knees from across the cage. That was. He
He just lifted his foot up. And I was fucking.
don't even have to kick. He just has to knee.
The fact, this is how I know you were stoned. The fact that you were thinking you were going to knee this guy in the face.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably a fucking good indicator right there that I had a little too much marijuana to consume.
I mean, how tall are you, Kalil?
I'm like 5'10",
Yeah,
bro.
this
I
guy's
was like,
like-
We're
this
the
is
same
a fucking
height.
beanstalk.
He came
You
up
hear that
this-
crowd, dude?
And that was all your crowd, man.
Dude, that was, man, I had so much support.
that was the Kalil
I
Tulsa
cannot
fight.
Thank them enough. My cousin was at this one, bro. That shit was.
Yeah, R.I.P. on that, man. Sorry
God
about,
bless
sorry
him.
about your
Yeah,
loss
so
on
my
that.
He was a cool
cousin. So last episode, he came to buy tickets. And,
He did.
but
In the middle of the
man,
episode.
A couple months ago, he passed away
Yeah, man.
to an
Cage door is
unexpected blood
locked.
clot.
Austin Rice.
Shout out to your cousin, man.
Yeah, man.
Man,
R.I.P.
yeah.
and
White trunks.
That shit hurt.
Austin Rice,
But
day job
part
is a
of it.
mortgage lender.
He would have been happy to see the second one, how that turned
That last one was for him.
so,
Straight up.
He's found a home for that inside low kick.
so
That was a nice kick.
it was. So
I know you're
in your head, like I know you're hyped up.
Like, okay, you're not
Like
kicking me no
so
more,
to
bro.
me,
done with this.
and I've watched this a bunch of times. To me, right about here is where you finally like kind of settle down. Like right here, you kind of like you start
Right here, I
to
was like,
There you dropped.
yeah.
You hit him right in the temple.
There, boom. Now you dropped him.
it was
Yeah.
probably like the fourth fucking leg kick. I was like, oh, I'm fighting this motherfucker.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like you started to settle down about 40.
I honestly didn't see where you clipped him before
Yeah.
this
Dude, I
video.
know.
knocked him
dropped him
down.
with that
If
hand right then.
he'd have got up on top of him, I think.
Knee on belly.
Oh yeah, he told me, he's like, I'm glad I didn't let you fucking mount me. I talked to him after the last fight.
Oh, yeah?
He was like, bro, you got some ground game, bro. I was like, thank you, man.
Yeah, we do.
Rice is trying to do in the takedowns. Train
See right
did
there,
he,
guillotine. We could have worked guillotine.
And Austin just powers him, Kalil onto his back.
But you were smart here to staying calm.
You could have did buggy choke.
Yeah, I knew if I panicked, I was
He
like,
caught somebody with a buggy choke tonight on the mat.
Oh, did you?
yeah.
That's funny.
I think he might
Yeah,
have been
Tyler.
for
My, like,
almost a high
second
chest pull
buggy
type
choke
guillotine
ever.
attempt. Now he has to come
I don't know if it was that crucifix that you did on me that fucked my shoulder up or not, but
Sorry.
no. Well, it didn't hurt that night, but ever since the next morning I woke
For
up,
those that are
my
not watching
shoulder's
right now,
been
he's
effed.
working the Kimura attempt.
Rice was able to transfer to the back.
Here he pops over.
Long. He's got Austin Rice has good look legs.
Wrestles up.
Holy back
Sit
down.
your ass
That
down.
was
That
awesome.
was actually good wrestling. He pulled the elbow back
Good
between
wrestling.
them.
You hear Frank Mir? He's got good wrestling.
Frank Mir.
When I
Frank,
saw that video, on videos the
Frank
first time,
Mir
I
said
was
you
like,
said-
holy shit.
you know what was really cool is that when you went to knee on belly, it was right after Steve and I both are yelling knee on belly, like, and you went to it was like, oh, this motherfucker's listening to
And
us.
across the leg drag. Oh,
I could kind of hear y'all, like right there.
Well,
I
when
could
you
hear
did the knee on belly, you were like right in front of us, like that was right on the same side of the cage.
See, Frank
So-
Mir had doubt. He thought you were going to get triangle.
When you got right here, I was not worried.
wasn't either.
Knowing you, I've
wasn't
had you
worried.
in that.
I
I've
said,
had
put your
you.
knee across his face.
Bro,
I have
you
had
literally
him
talked
in
that
this.
The week of.
Hey, I have had. I love triangles. I have long legs. I have had Kalil in dead to right triangle just like this.
Right.
And he got it. So I wasn't like when you were in that. I wasn't worried. I was like, it's fucking Kalil. He's getting out of it.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried right there. I was like, oh shit.
I wasn't because I know I've
This is
had
where I
you
knew
in
you
that.
were tired. Look. You see that swing?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Like, go back on that real quick. Go back.
I know
real
you were
quick.
not happy to bring that. You were like,
Rewind that back, yeah.
Nah, when I rewatching that, I was like, what the
Yeah, go right there. Let him get out of that.
Is he doing the right thing by just standing up, getting up on his feet?
Yeah.
Oh, he gets
it's
out.
kind of a mixed bag
I
there.
just was jumped
Like,
off.
look at how tired. He almost
That
kicks you in
up
the
kick,
head.
man. That up
Watch,
kick is
Yeah, that
dangerous.
was
watch this. Look at that. Look at that. And then you're just standing there like,
It's like, fuck.
Triangle.
you could have gotten knocked out right there.
Straight up.
look, flat-footed.
He was tired too.
You're flat-footed. You're like barely got
Move
your
the
hand.
mouse. Move the mouse.
To where the person can't get the proper choke. Or
That
you
guy
can
just
get
is
your
like-
weapon exposed and get out of there completely.
You know, his
In
hands.
between zone is kind of
If they
there's
made
a knee.
contact a few times, you would have been done.
Yeah.
Look, I thought you were gonna get knocked out right here. Like you were so
Oh, I did
sloppy.
too.
You were so sloppy.
Yeah, you're barely.
I was like, I gotta get
the buzzer saved you.
That shit did save me.
So
That grappling exchange, that's what took it
Well,
out of me.
and so
I
how
was
did that
like,
feel going from the striking to the grappling and dealing with the different
Oh
injury
man,
systems?
if you're not practicing with the grappling and then you get grappled, you're gonna fucking gas out. I mean, you're gonna gas out regardless, but doing both at the
That,
same
you
time.
crumbled him, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
I thought I
goodness.
knocked him out, and that's why I kind of like hesitated going.
Slow their mind
Yeah, you
down.
got to get on top.
Yeah, you go.
Now you know.
Going.
So even right
We've
there,
been working
so
that.
on top.
One,
Opportunity to
ground and
relax a
pound.
little bit, too.
so in between the rounds, Steve and Tommy come
Which
out.
is why people sit there.
What's going through your head there?
These guys are
I'm like, fuck, I'm tired. Like,
Yeah.
if I don't end this shit right
What's,
here, I'm
what's
probably.
Steve telling you right there? What's he
Stop being a
saying?
bitch.
Yeah, basically.
I know he told you none of that stupid fucking kicking
Oh
shit.
yeah, I was like,
Nah,
listen, stop
I
acting.
didn't do that yet. I didn't do that yet.
Full sprint. There's no way.
I was literally like, I'm like, listen, hey, once you get on him, I'm like, you need to get on top and stay on top.
Yeah.
Dominate him on the ground. Let's go.
There's something.
Yeah, at this point, the game plan was to wrestle. It was always to wrestle.
I
It's
definitely did
just-
say stop doing some bullshit.
Yeah, dude.
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I'm pretty sure I was telling him just to strike
so
your way and
fucking
take your way
tired.
down. Use your jab, actually give him something to think about.
So a minute seems like a lot.
Oh, there you got him
I was
again.
trying to time his kick because I knew he was gonna fucking kick me again with his long
sure.
ass legs.
That right there.
That right there.
bro, that was
I was
Tommy.
pissed. I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Actually, he said none of that stupid shit is what he said.
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the lead
Right when I
guys-
did that, I could hear Gunny's fucking voice in my head.
But see, every time you,
I was like, shit,
Every
I'm
time
never
you
gonna not hear
actually,
about that.
Khalil, every time you actually hit him, he
Nice.
didn't like
We just
that.
went over that night too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there he's got it wrapped in his elbow.
That's pretty tight.
I don't like the doubt from Frank Mir.
Yeah, that wasn't too tight.
Yeah. But it doesn't look
He
tight
didn't
either.
connect it.
No.
It's not connected.
I just couldn't get out.
Single-handed push across.
But it's smart though. Don't gas yourself out. Just wait it out, and he'll. As soon as you feel him loosen up, just pop your head out. I've never been scared of those guillotines.
I shouldn't have let him up right there.
Yeah, I
No,
thought that was a
that
mistake
was-
for you. I thought
That could have changed the whole fight if you'd have kept him down. Because now you got to start all over.
Yeah. And I thought, and I going in, I was like, I thought our plan was to stay on the ground.
Yeah, it
And,
was.
and you let him up. I was like, what is he doing?
I
What
was
is he
thinking
doing?
about too much at the same time. I was just like, man.
That was the only time he took you down in the fight.
And then this is
Oh,
where
he was gurgling. He was almost down. If I would have just kept
I
that
thought you
leg-
had
No,
him
well,
here.
yeah, you would have had to lock your leg in
I'm
half guard.
about to move that leg and I fucked it all
Yeah,
up.
you let him out of the half guard, and so you
So that's where I locked down. That's where I should have kept
it goes back.
I'm sorry, Khalil Hunt is on the bottom.
And then, because I could hear him gurgling, and these were like desperation punches he's about to throw.
But then again, as I say that, Rice really isn't getting out of it.
See, you'd have to hip up, or work
And I
the
was
lockdown.
yelling,
Man.
I was yelling, hip up, hip up,
Yeah.
hip up. But you were pretty far away.
It's tough when gravity ain't on your side, you know, like.
Well, we see a lot of young belts.
And I was yelling at him like, "Look, man, if you're not gonna finish it, don't blow up your arms. Just
Yeah, well, I was worried about you tiring yourself out too. holding
exactly."
it
I was
too
like,
long.
just sweep him and.
But see, then you let him out right here. Like that was
Half guard position here. And now it looks like
That's easy.
right here. That's where you let him out. Like you just let him go, and I was like,
You could have wrestled up on a single there.
he turned
That's where I was
his,
like, "Come on, wrestle up, wrestle up." There you go. Now finish a double right here.
Beginning of the end.
But you were just so tired, it didn't matter.
Khalil does not like
how you feel right here?
I'm like, fuck, I gotta get up. So I didn't feel any of that shit. I was just like, I gotta get up.
That
I
was
gotta
going
get
through
up.
your
I
head,
gotta
yeah.
get up.
You didn't even know you got.
I heard somebody
You didn't
yell,
even know you got a knee.
That was it.
That
After
was
the
it.
fight, you didn't even know
I
you
feel
got
like
a
he
knee.
stopped it too soon.
I 100% feel like he stopped it.
but
soon.
look, he would have just jumped on top of me and fucking ended it.
I would have rather that
I was
though.
so tired. Yeah, honestly.
I'm just glad.
Let me die a warrior's death.
Listen, it's an amateur fight. I'm
This
glad
is
you
why.
didn't take too much
This is why,
damage.
and I know the ref doesn't have to take into account what time in the match it, or round it is, but you can mute that now. I know the ref's job isn't to take into account, but I felt like he stopped it so soon with only 20 seconds left
Yeah,
in
he
the round.
pulled a
that,
Herb
you
D.
know, I feel like you stood up quick enough that the fight could have kept going.
Yeah,
and
I
that
definitely felt like I could.
we could have gotten that to the third round. I feel like, you know, and then I feel like he had the two takedowns, I guess, so the takedown and then the knockdown of you in that round. But you controlled a good portion of that.
If he
of that
came
round.
back, took him down again in the third, it could have been a different. it could
Hey,
have gone
shoulda,
a
woulda,
different way.
coulda.
Right,
Let's play that. Let's
absolutely.
play
Let's
tail
play
of the
that
tape.
new
of the-
shit.
So let's go to the second fight.
Let's go to the second.
And why he finds it, it's going to be on Facebook.
Facebook.
Yeah, go to my Facebook and then go to Khalil's. So while he's pulling that up, that fight goes not the way we had hoped, but
Yeah.
but good experience.
Oh, yeah,
And
man.
then
It was great.
we go to
Go to Laura Rissa. That's my stepmom. She's got probably the best
Spell it.
video I've seen. Laura,
URA?
yeah,
RI?
GRISSO.
there she is right there.
That's my stepmom. No.
Go back.
Go back. The first one.
Go
They're
back,
the one
Jamie.
that said two mutual friends. Yeah, the top one. Very top one.
No.
All the way up. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
So
There it is.
yeah, dude, look right there.
That's pretty good. I hadn't seen this one.
You haven't seen this one? Oh, bro, check it out.
Okay, yeah.
The Giants are walking out. We lost audio.
Yeah.
Oh
It
shit.
might be a Facebook issue. They fool.
Now I'm used to it.
It's definitely. Oh, I know what happened. Hang on.
We lost audio.
Yep.
We're experiencing some technical difficulties.
Feedback problem. Just turn that down just a little bit so we don't get a feedback problem. Yeah, just turn it down a little bit. It was just a feedback issue.
Yeah, this shit was. I don't know what it was, man. I just felt like I needed to fucking win this one, bro.
Well, you definitely needed to win it. I'm gonna be honest, because there's a huge difference between 1-1 and 0-2.
Oh yeah.
Like it doesn't sound like it, but there's a huge.
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
like eventually, and I know your uncle knows the promoters, but eventually the promoters are like, this guy can't
Yeah,
win.
fuck
Like
that, he can't fight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like you might have gotten another fight at 0-2, but it might not have.
Chances are
Yeah, like eventually it's gonna be like, this guy can't fight. We're not giving, like, he's not putting a show on. So 1-1 is way different than 0-2.
Promise to put a show on if y'all make it on time.
This was great.
Well, this was completely wild. 'Cause
I've never seen this. Yeah.
this is going to be good because I have not seen this good of footage of it, and I was unfortunately not able to be there because I was working.
This is the best video.
There's way less crowd at this one though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this one actually started on time. The last one was fucking.
It was late. It was an
Everybody
hour
who bought
later.
tickets
An
missed
hour late.
Bro,
It was an hour
literally,
late.
like half the people who buy
Well,
tickets missed this one.
I was mad too because
I
they
was
said it was
sad.
good. They said it was going to be on Fight
Well, he didn't
TV,
even
and it wasn't.
like touch
Yeah, he didn't want
gloves.
to touch gloves.
He
Yeah, I
just
was like,
just
oh,
wait-
okay, I guess we're
immediately
fighting.
starts going for it. No.
Nice.
I tried to do a little judo throw that backfired, but then I swept him, so I didn't feel too bad about
Very
it.
Yeah.
fast.
Very fast.
Okay.
You need your Kazushi.
Oh, that's better. That works.
That's when I was like, all right, bitches on. Bing,
boom, boom, boom,
bing.
boom.
Got to cover up.
bing.
Okay.
This is where you went wild.
You just started.
That's when I was like, calm the fuck down.
Calm,
So
chill
what's
out.
crazy? So he
Y'all
hit me
both
with
kicked
that
each
kick.
other at the same time.
The only time he really hit me in the face was when he was getting back up.
Yeah, you can see his ground game right here. There's none.
No sprawl.
No ground,
He's just
no ground game.
very rookie
That was a
mistake.
very nice,
Very beautiful
transition out.
transition.
You gotta
Yeah.
have both in this sport.
Yeah, he's not escaping from the ground. He's
How do you
comfortable.
how do you feel about those rib shots? Not even really.
I didn't feel that shit at all.
Yeah, I figured.
Nah,
It
he
doesn't-
should have just focused on
Yeah.
escaping.
Right here, I
instead
can
of-
hear Coach. He was like, "Drop him." And I was like,
This is where he was desperate trying to get out.
And then he caught that.
And then the body lock.
Boom, that's
you got,
it.
You got the body lock right,
Right
there.
here's when I'm like, you better fix that.
Yeah, that's a pretty. It's a pretty.
No, it's not even close yet. He fixes it now. That it's
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
it's a pretty wimpy excuse for a body lock, but you got it fixed there, and
Yeah, that's
Finished
I've
it
seen
off.
That
I'll let it slide.
My
really
favorite
good.
is God bless him.
That was great, man.
Hey,
He's a cool dude,
he was a good
Good
warrior
kid.
for taking the fight though, for sure.
Yep.
he said he was gonna come train here, but
I still want to know why his hands were up though.
I know.
you know, I thought he won.
Listen, it's a lot of
He got
adrenaline.
choked out.
People don't always know what happens.
That's right.
He,
That was lit.
Khalil,
I was ready to
thought he
keep
got
fighting.
punched.
I was like, "Fuck."
Khalil thought he got punched and knocked down, and he got kneed to the face in the first fight. He was like,
Yeah.
All right,
He
look,
punched
watch
me.
closely. Watch closely at Tommy real quick. Right, watch him position himself into the camera
Sorry, I'm a professional.
and start flexing. Watch. I noticed this. 'Cause look, I was doing the same fucking thing.
We were both inching over.
You got the chest jumping.
I was like, move over a little bit. Watch. He's gonna move over to the left.
Boom, boom.
Watch.
"All right, move over,
Give it a
move over,
second.
motherfucker."
I like how this is what we're commentating on.
No, of course.
Look. He's looking at the screen. Did you see the chest?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm literally like this. I'm like, hey. I'm literally like, move over, man.
When he get in there.
That's awesome.
Yes, man.
were like,
that was such a
Jason,
awesome
Jamie, you look like a stereotypical cut man.
That
going
one-
at, like
He was the perfect cut, man.
Like you.
I'm so
you
mad that
had
this fight
the-
is over. I
you
felt like
had
it was
the
long.
look.
It should have been longer.
You had,
I was
cancel
like,
that
what
out.
the
so it
first
doesn't
one
play.
was a war.
Just cancel it so it doesn't play.
Hey, hands down, my opinion on this was your development was astronomical. I mean,
It was.
For sure. Like
was
you can
not-
watch that and
you can see night and day difference. Standing, you're covering up. You still got to work on covering up.
That's not how he spars. That's why I was
Definitely
mad.
have a lot of,
Because when we're sparring, I'm like, he keeps his elbows in. he's not
Definitely a
throwing
lot of
wild
moments where you
shots.
drop.
I feel
For
like I
sure.
said, I feel like Tommy doesn't get enough credit because he's always here at the school. But I like I said, man, I think Tommy, you bringing what you bring to the table and adding to Cohesion was absolutely amazing. And then getting him ready. I know he spent some days with me on the mats and woo,
Yep.
Brutal.
he you know.
We put a lot of time, and we did a lot. We spent hours also, not just doing traditional striking, but working the takedown entries into that.
And
double
body
leg.
hardening.
And that body hardening.
Yeah.
And
You gotta be tough for this shit.
Yep. And a lot of what we do is when we do the striking combos, they end with wrestling shots.
Yeah.
So they're automatically knowing, all right, I'm going to do 1, 2, double leg, 1, 2, 3,
So
single.
for those listening, our program is not just, hey, here's your 1, 2, 3 combo and all that good stuff, right? So Tommy came as far as designing a nutrition program, a series of attacks with code words and stuff like that
Yep.
we use. And
Surf and turf,
that
baby.
is
Surf and turf.
huge. You know, most programs that you see out there, they're not going to have a nutrition program. Hey, you make sure you're on weight. You know,
Yep.
we try to make sure our fighter is good to go, healthy, mentally, physical, and in every aspect.
Yep.
So huge shout out to you, Tommy.
Oh, no problem. I'm
Yeah,
just
I know-
glad to use what I learned.
I wouldn't have had hands without you.
I know when we all sat down, me, Steve, and Tommy, months and months ago. I know that was like what we wanted to develop was a program that was start to finish, right? Like we're gonna develop you to get like
From
with this-
intro to
yeah,
advanced.
and then we're gonna take care of you, right? Like we're gonna get you into the cage. We're gonna we're gonna get you the fights, and that was the whole like what we wanted to do with this program, right?
Yep.
And I mean, Kalil, you're the guinea pig, and you're the example, and you're the shining
Yes.
light for all of us.
What's your thoughts on it?
I've only been training for what 2.5, 3 years, and
Jiu-jitsu.
just jujitsu.
Yeah, I mean, you really started striking in June of last year when we started offering it free, or July, whenever.
Yeah,
it
and
was.
that was once a week.
Yeah, like not even that.
Not
long
even-
ago.
I mean, I'd say September, October was when you started serious. I mean, and even then, we still weren't offering multiple days a week as an official program. And that didn't start till January, really.
Right.
But yeah, dude, just coming in and putting that grind in, man, and keep coming back, you'll get better, man. It's
just
you
time.
know, it's just time and work. You know, you got to treat it like a job sometimes. And if you're really passionate about it, then
You'll find a way.
Where's this going for you?
oh man, baby, we're going to UFC. You already know.
okay.
That's awesome.
You already know.
Absolutely.
Good stuff, man.
Absolutely.
You already know.
Ride it till the brakes fall off.
That's
Fuck yeah,
tremendous.
Tony
Wait,
Ferguson style, bro.
So,
I mean, like, nah, I ain't gonna.
you ain't gonna you're gonna be a little more sane than him.
Yeah.
But that's a big part of it.
We're going to
is-
retract that last statement.
Yeah.
We retract that.
I'm gonna get us canceled tonight.
But that's our goal, is to build a sustainable program.
Well, as
to
long as
give
you're
you
not
all the
Sean
tools you
Strickland
need.
crazy. We're
Yeah.
Right?
I'm not there yet, but
No, we're not getting there at all.
But yeah, no, it's great. All that for me comes from my ISSA personal trainer certification. I spent a lot of time studying sports science and athlete development, and to me, it's developing the whole athlete, and comprehensively. We have our weight cutting guidelines that you always stay close to weight. So that's fine.
I don't think I've ever seen Kalil gain weight. Period.
No,
bro, I
he's
was,
just
believe it or not, before that fight, 3 weeks out, I was like 170.
The second fight.
3.
Yeah, he was over.
First
Yeah.
fight.
He was over.
The first
by-
fight.
he
Well,
was
you were
over,
overweight
and
on
then
when we had on the podcast on Monday. You were overweight like 7 or 8 pounds.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause me and Steve left that podcast going, what the fuck's wrong with him? Like, we
He
got
better
4
get on
days.
point.
It was Monday. The fight was Friday. We're like, what the fuck's this guy doing?
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
All water weight, man.
Oh yeah. We can cut water quick. That's in our programming.
And I remember
5-day water cutting.
I was injured too, so I
were
couldn't
injured.
do shit.
Which we didn't.
Every time
we released
breathed-
that podcast after specifically because we knew you were injured and we didn't want to put that out there.
expose that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we were sitting on all kinds of content because we didn't want to put anything.
Yeah, we kept
out.
all of our in-house content before we anything of you sparring we didn't put out because we didn't want that.
Stuff. Yeah. We didn't want. We were very serious. We were like, keep it all under wraps.
So Tommy, this question's for you. Where's the striking program going? Like how? Like what's the next?
What's
step?
your vision?
My next step, my goal, I really want to get our kids are really coming along. Just like how he mixes up the grappling, I mix in everything I've learned. I've spent years just working on my boxing and, Muay Thai for 10 years before that, and then karate since I was a kid. So my goal is to develop a comprehensive MMA striking program and produce fighters who are ready for the cage. I don't care about the sport of boxing, kickboxing, any of that. Our athletes will compete under those rule sets to gain experience, but to me, it's all about MMA because I know that that's an area where it's still kind of in its pioneer phase. We're still figuring out how that sport works, and for me, it's exciting. I've been in learning and development for over a decade as an instructional systems designer. I've built training programs for the National Guard, for coding boot camps, now in the logistics industry full time. So the excitement for me is coming in and being able to apply everything I do in my day job to this, and that's where our curriculum comes from, because I break down competencies, learning objectives, and a step-by-step blueprint based on I sit and watch hours and hours and hours of fights like a nerd all the time. It drives my wife. It makes her miserable. I watch fights for 8 hours straight. And so I dissect what strikes land with the most frequency, what strategies are working, where's the sport going? Yeah. And so I focus specifically on what I see landing, so there's I think the hardest part of putting a program together is there's so much technique out there. How do you pick, And so I go based on what I see working in the sport, what works for me, and what's high percentage. And so that's, to me, the goal is to produce more Kalils, to get as many folks competing regularly in this sport as possible. I think we can refine that science. When I started in all this in the 2000s, it was you got to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu, an expert in Muay Thai, a Division I wrestler, great, then you're ready for MMA. But you'd have to go to different gyms for everything. I did Muay Thai one place, jiu-jitsu one place. You could train with the high school wrestling.
It takes a toll on you.
Yeah,
man.
you couldn't do it all in one place. Nothing like this. And so my goal is for someone to come in here, they want to fight, and we can take them, like y'all said, from 0 to 100. Right. The thing that's going to be interesting about it is we have blueprints. I've got a pretty robust curriculum already, but it's also finding out, we know he's a great grappler. I got another kid who came in, not a strong grappler, natural for the striking.
Yeah, that motherfucker got hands, bro.
Just picks it up like water. So a big part of this is figuring out what works for each athlete and then building that game around their strengths, mitigating their weaknesses, and finding a winning strategy for them. That is so much fun for me. I would do this every day for the rest of my life. I plan to. And me being in my 30s and stuff like that, I see myself doing that more and more. So that's our goal. I love teaching. It's what I've done professionally as both originally a middle school teacher and now a corporate trainer, and now here. It's what I want to keep doing until I'm 100 years old and you're dragging me off the mat, and I'm farting dust. But I also, selfishly, my own skills grow so much through teaching. I have improved dramatically and iterated on everything we're doing. You can watch him, the classes aren't the same as how we already started. Right. We've already built on it, changed a lot. Try to get as much value for the time they're putting in as possible.
I think that's the mark of a good coach, good instructor, being able to adapt and realize that that might not have been the best way. We've got to do it this way,
absolutely.
For sure. So definitely,
and then just adjusting for the volume that we're having. Yeah. It was very different teaching 5 people versus a couple of weeks before his fight, we had 20 people show up.
For sure. And the adult classes definitely developing really quick.
Yes.
With the kids,
that's interesting.
How do you envision taking kids to being growing them through the program and making them obviously that you can't get a sanctioned fight until you're of a certain age. So how do you envision keeping them in the program and preparing them to preparing them to where let's take our young one,
Kira, Nico,
take those two for example. How do you envision keeping them in the program and then building them to where when they're of age that they're ready to
so I can tell you the way I'm up front with their parents that listen, with striking especially and with mixed martial arts, this is a long-term investment you're making in these children. When I was working with boxing and with the Golden Gloves and everything, it's a common expectation that if you're building a pro fighter, even just for pro boxing, you're going to put 10 years into that athlete and you're going to start them young, just like someone who's going to be a high-level wrestler or anything else. So what I tell these parents is this is a long-term investment you're making. You're starting now for what you're going to see when that kid's 16, 17 years old. And it's a sport where they have the tremendous potential to hit the gas and go, I want to see kids training with us through our youth program, hitting 16, 17, and going 10-0. I trained at a gym called Next Generation MMA before I came here with Chris Brennan and Lucas and Tyler Brennan. And I saw, Chris's shout out to him. He's an amazing father. And that's what he did with his kids. He took them up through wrestling and jiu-jitsu and striking from the time they were children. And one is wrestling collegiately, and I think he's at the University of Little Rock, and he's a monster, and the other one's undefeated. I think he's like 10-0 in Bellator right now. And he's just gone on a tear and mowed through everyone he's faced. And so, obviously, pipe dream, right? But I think there's something to be said for putting that time into building these kids in the long term. I start them off, another thing I love to do, I teach them all in Japanese.
I saw that the other night. I really like that.
I train them in Japanese so that when we're calling shots in the cage, they know they know every move in Japanese.
Sure.
It helps them with judo too and our grappling, but they love learning about another culture. It's one way I keep them engaged. I sing them nursery rhymes in Japanese.
Yeah.
They're counting up to 30 already. That happened organically. They asked me for it. I started out in more English, and then they're like, teach us more Japanese, teach us to count. So they thirst for that knowledge. The other thing that's wonderful about training the kids is that they learn really quickly. They don't have bad habits. They're very athletic, and
they're sponges.
They're sponges, and the ones the what I love the most is they're willing to put in the work and stay engaged with it. I think because with striking, you're hitting something. It's natural. It's organic. Especially the kids coming over from jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to say striking's easier, but it's more intuitive to hit somebody than it is to figure out how to throw a submission on somebody.
Right. Yeah.
So the thing about it though is, it's deceptive because when they first couple months, this is easy. It's a punch and a kick, and then they run into somebody like Nico, who's already faking people out and throwing head kicks, switch kicks.
Nasty.
He's nasty. He has to spar with me now. We were sparring last night, and he's nasty with it. And the other kids are quite like, oh, this is a game of chess too. So it's that Dunning-Kruger effect that everyone has. They think it's simple, but it's really not.
That's how you do this shit.
So with our kids, my goal is I bring them up slowly. I start them out, Kira and Nico had just started sparring yesterday, and they've been training religiously since October, the fall of last year, and then Nico since we got him.
I don't think I've seen them miss a day.
No, they haven't missed a day.
No, they're both religious.
Our kids
about it,
once they get into
They're
striking,
passionate.
they love it.
I wish the adults were like that.
I know, and they are, but
And Violet's going to be right there once.
man.
Once
absolutely.
she gets into the striking program, which is coming probably soon. She's gonna
tear it up. But I take them through it slow because I don't want them developing bad habits. So
Right. No, for sure.
And I make it clear to them. You can't take back a punch. I've seen boxers crippled get cerebral palsy in the ring. I don't want anyone going in there until they know what they're doing. And so I take it a little more seriously. I don't play a lot of games. I try to make the training itself and the drills themselves fun. But there is that seriousness about it that, listen, if you get hit in the face and you get knocked out, you can't get those brain cells back, right?
Yeah.
So I'm very careful about sparring. I build them up. We spend months working on fundamentals. And when I take them a step forward in their training, if I see things slipping, I dial them back. For example, this week we went all the way back to working our footwork, our stances, things like that, because you can't build a house on a bad foundation. So I always start them out. I spent months boxing just stepping and punching. Stepping and punching, which seems really, all those really rote, boring fundamentals, just like in wrestling, practicing your stance, your down blocking, your shots. We have to build those fundamentals, and I know it's going to pay off for them. So the ones who are committed and meant to do this, they'll stick with it. It's not for everybody, but so far we've had outstanding retention. They love it, and we're getting new kids almost every week. Yeah. So,
Kalil, speak to the what's the most important part of all of it? You've been there, you've 2 fights now. What's tie it all together? What's the most important? Obviously they're all important, but if you were to say this one is the
man, honestly, I gotta thank God that I'm even here, man. Because 3 years ago, I would have never thought I would have been on this path. But ever since I started, just gotta say thank y'all for giving me the knowledge and the skills to learn how to whoop ass. I've always had that whoop ass in me, but y'all kind of refined it and turned it into
it's a science.
Iron sharpens iron.
And can't thank y'all enough. But man, I'm trying to ride this shit till the wheels fall off.
Cardio.
Yeah.
Definitely get my cardio up, man.
Cardio is the most important.
Cardio is the most important.
What do you?
Family and knowledge and
Turn it up.
passing this knowledge down to the next generation. There's a lot of things, honestly, that
I think this one's out of fuel.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Get a smoke on here.
are very beneficial to
I'm surprised that one's
all
not
of
working.
this.
Oh, there, almost. You need a lighter?
I'll get you.
I got it.
Old-fashioned lighter.
Thank you. This is what I'm used to.
Yeah, no. Cardio is super important.
Cardio?
So I quit smoking.
Food.
Like
Nutrition?
Yeah, food. So my wife, she's always been good with like cooking healthy stuff. Like last night, she made like salmon and
I mean, how many programs are given? And I don't know if you're using it or not. And
I ain't never seen another program. That does
but how many programs are
nutrition.
giving you a whole, like I know, like Jimmy talked about, like the UFC, when they're was it 6 weeks out? Do you remember something like that? 6 weeks out.
Shout
they're
out
giving
to
them.
Jimmy the Brick.
Hell yeah, man! We're gonna have him back on. It was awesome.
Cool. He was in the. So my second fight, he was in the.
Yeah,
we hung out with him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
All the Forging crew down there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good dudes.
I'm working on. I just lost train of thought because I'm looking at over at the wall here. But working on doing a cross training with Micah at his place. Maybe next month, next time instead of, and we did the training ground this month.
Sweet.
So we're trying to mix those in. Once a month, going other places.
Those guys were monsters at Matt's.
Man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Shout out to Matt Reyna, previous guest and owner of Christian.
Oh, he's a good dude, man. I met him a couple times before.
Love that guy, man. He's become a close friend, and I've hit him up, and he's helped me behind the scenes with some business stuff, and just he's such a stand-up dude, man. Really great dude. He's answered some questions I've had recently about like business taxes, and he's just a great dude.
So what's your skill set? What do you think is the most important skill set to have?
Man.
If you can only walk in there with one competency.
Grappling.
Yeah.
There you go.
Straight up.
That's the
Straight up.
answer
I mean, you could have won that first fight with grappling alone.
I feel like
It always ends on the ground.
jiu-jitsu is cool, but like our type of grappling here, you want to
Wrestle
be able to
judo-jitsu.
get your ass back up
Yeah.
on your feet, whenever. So, and if you're on the ground, you want to be able to know what to do. So,
Absolutely.
grappling.
I'm the striking coach, and I think it's wrestling. So
straight up, man.
I think leading on to that, like understanding how to like wrestle up and just that shit, like stuff like that a lot of places that I've trained at, from cross training and stuff, people don't understand that, like they once they're on the ground, they're like, I'm stuck on the ground. It's like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we watched your most recent fight, right? And no disrespect to your opponent, you could just tell he was lacking in an area, and there was about five.
Because we're so good,
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
We were about five or six occasions where he could have wrestled up and
Could've
not
sprawled.
done that
Sure, yeah.
desperation get up, which is where you were able to get around him and work your rear naked. But that's one of the things I think we pride ourselves is we have a very hybrid academy, and we have a bunch of people in here, wrestlers, judo.
What's funny is that when people first started like saying that about like Steve and in our academy, it was like he was almost offended by it at first. Like
the hybrid.
What do you mean? Like what? Like, but he wasn't understanding what people were saying at first. Like it was, But then now, as he started to like realize, like, oh yeah, like that is like there's not a lot of places that are teaching. Judo mixed in with wrestling, mixed in with jiu-jitsu, and understanding how that it's okay to come back to your feet, or that you can wrestle up, or that, you can, engage while you're standing up, or, so there's a lot of places that don't, once they're on the ground, or,
Right.
And they teach basic standing up stuff, how to do basic takedowns, or, you know what I mean? Like a lot of places are simply teaching you how to get to the ground, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas like we're teaching you, even if you end up on the ground, you can end up back up standing. Like there's a way to do that.
Yep.
I think that's one of the things that we're good at here is that even from the ground we're comfortable enough to where we know, okay, this is a bad position, we need to get up. Mm-hmm. All right, hey, you know what? I'm not going to strike this guy. I'm going to work even though I'm anti-pull guard. We still train for it. We still train in it, but for the most part, I think we're I definitely will adopt that word hybrid.
Yep.
And it was like he said, I was very offended, when people would be like, "Oh, you're like a hybrid academy," and I'm like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
It's a good thing though. It reminds me more of
and
like old school
I've-
jiu-jitsu, like when it was more self-defense oriented versus.
Well, a lot of people love that, like, because he'll bring it back, like, street fighting. You know what I mean? Like, if you're on the street, you know what I mean? Like, he brings it back to that a lot.
Gun game.
The gun game is, I can't wait to have Jason back on so we can talk about the gun game.
Oh my gosh! Well,
like,
the
"Look, man, I
sport's
was having a
evolved. Jiu-jitsu's, how much jiu-jitsu's changed in the last 10 years.
It's always evolving.
But
always.
but the focus on like the IBJJF and the rule set for sport jiu-jitsu versus old school like MMA guys trying to learn the ground game so they could fight Vale Tudo. It's kind of a different. It's become its own thing now.
So it's funny that you said that about IBJJF and pretty much being specific to a certain rule set. So I don't know if you guys know. Look up Metal Chasers, Team Lloyd Irving.
Oh, Little Irving. Wow. Yeah.
Metal, MEDAL.
Yeah, like metal. You were talking about
Who? What's the last part?
Lloyd Irving.
You were talking about it constantly changing and teaching different techniques. Our guest on Monday was talking about that and evolving.
Yep.
How you teach. Frank Werner, he was talking about
really?
evolving.
I can't wait to watch that one. I just haven't had time.
Right. So
It's
those
not
that
out
don't
yet.
know,
It'll be out on Wednesday.
Team Lloyd Irving is out of lower that. a
I'll
little
stay
bit.
in like
Lloyd
Baltimore or
Irving,
something.
aka the Grappling Renegade. I want to welcome you to the next episode of the next World Champion.
So Team Lloyd Irving is based out of Maryland. Yeah. Absolutely amazing team. He's got a bad rep because of some things that have happened in the past. I can't talk on it because I don't know whether it's true or not. But absolutely amazing instructor. His jiu-jitsu speaks for itself. His lineage is absolutely amazing. He's under Leo Dalla. Leo Dalla is another amazing instructor. But he has had champions such as JT Torres. JT Torres. And then you've had Keenan Cornelius.
Keenan. Yeah.
And then
Keenan Cornelius is the guy that did the American Jiu-Jitsu.
I can't remember the. Oh, DJ Jackson. Yeah, DJ Jackson. So the philosophy that they taught was, we're getting those medals. That's his first female black belt, the one that they just showed. That's DJ Jackson right there.
Yeah.
And you'll see Torres. JT Torres. He's another MMA guy. This is he was oh man, anyway, anybody that comes out of that academy is just a monster.
Right.
And his training philosophy is very old school. Like, you're not leaving this gym until you did your 100 triangles, until you did your 100 omoplatas, until you rolled 100 times. If you don't like it, good.
Go. Yeah.
I don't care. You're going to train. So that's what we kind of been bringing back here a little bit is that, hey, in your face type of training. Like, you want to get in the cage? You need to be all around. You need to be all around.
And know what's at stake too.
So I meant to actually post this in our group chat, but this is more of that level of like, hey, listen, you guys want to go to tournaments, right? Don't miss class. Right? You want to go to tournaments? Make sure you're on weight.
I was just gonna ask you about that, Kalil, because it's like the commitment, right? Like that was to me, that's probably the biggest, like the most important thing, right? So like we talked about cardio, we talked about nutrition, whatever, like, but the commitment, right? Like everything else takes care of itself if you have the commitment, right? You're showing up, you're putting in the work, and you're honestly showing up, right? You're not. I mean, everybody's got shit going on at home, but when you show up, I don't know if you posted it. Someone posted a video and it was talking about it was special forces, and they were talking about like the mental game, right? Like like who's the most vulnerable, and I don't know the guy's name, but I don't know if it was you posted or one of my other friends, but he was talking about like in a team going through the door, who's the most vulnerable, right? Is it the first guy or is it the second guy and third guy, whatever? And he was like, it's the second guy, right? Because the first guy has the element of surprise, right? He's busting through that door, he has the element of surprise. The second guy, if his head's not in the game, he doesn't have he's done. He doesn't have that element of surprise, right? He's got to be like checking that corner, checking that angle, like what I mean? Like his head's got to be in the game because the elements for surprise is gone. The first guy busted it, right? Like they blew the door down,
that
right?
guy in the threshold.
Yeah, that guy's already through. So, when your head's in the game, you know, everybody's got home problems and everything, but when you're here and you're training, are you focused? Are you really committed to? And so to me, if you have that commitment and it's true commitment and you're putting in the work, all that other stuff's going to take care of itself, right?
Yeah. And there's times you'll think like you're not getting something down, but if you keep coming back here and just keep literally just show up, and it's almost like muscle memory will literally kick in.
How many times have you heard the saying, you know, sometimes you're going to be the nail, sometimes you're going to be the hand? Like, that's so true.
That's just part of it. There's times I know I'm going to be the nail. I'll roll with Big Jeff just to
experience that.
Build
character.
Like, literally.
For sure.
Embrace the grind. That's what they say in wrestling.
Embrace the suck, man.
Yep.
Like, this shit is hard to do, you know. Like,
well, if it was easy, everybody would do it, right?
Everybody would do it.
And that's like they say the hardest belt to get is the white belt, right? Because
most people,
most you know, only 1% of the world trains, you know. So
most won't even walk in the door.
Yeah. So just
signing that waiver.
Coming in, signing the waiver, and putting that first belt around your waist is the most important.
That was the most
hardest belt, right?
Was getting whooped by Chachi when he wasn't. He had purple hair. I was like, what? The
Oh yeah.
I was like, I gotta learn this shit, man. What the hell?
Hey, shout out to Chachi if you listen, man. We miss you.
Chachi,
he knocked me in the eye one time because in the very beginning when he was training, we started right around the same time, and you know, so he was getting good at this exponential rate, right? And you know, I'm a former bodybuilder, power lifter, and you know, like rolling with, at the time he was 12, 13.
11,
like
12.
when you're rolling with a 12-year-old, in your head you're like, he's 12, right? I could break him, right? And like Steve said at the beginning, he was this beanpole back then, right? You know, so like in my head I'm like, I can't go 100% with this kid. He's a kid, right? I know he's in the adult class, but he's a kid. You know, I'm deadlifting 300 pounds, you know, benching over 400
Doesn't
at a
mean
time.
anything.
Right. And so like, but in my head, I'm like, I can't break this kid. And I mean, there was a few times early on where he just like rolled me, and one time he busted my eye, asked him. It was fucking, I sent him a picture the next morning. Like, So
we got some athletes around here.
Yeah, for sure. So after that roll, I never went easy on him again after that. Ever. Like if I was rolling with him, it was.
And that's
100%.
the thing, like you know, that's the one thing with our program that we do is you're 12 years old, you're in the adult program.
You should be in the adult.
There's no reason why, and this is my opinion. Is what we do at our academy, and every academy is different, to each their own. Great, but I feel that 12, 13 is very crucial because you know they're learning to roll to adults, heavier weight, older guys. Because guess what? When you fight in that absolute, or if you fight in that challenger division, man, some of these kids are ridiculously developed for what they should be.
Oh, I know.
Yoked,
I know
no
a
neck
kid right
having.
now.
Oh God.
You know,
he's fucking overhead
squat,
overhead pressing like 250.
Who's that?
You know, my coworker Benny, he hit you up about the judo.
Yeah,
his son, bro. He's a monster.
These kids, their athletic development, and that's what's so important.
It's different now, right? Like we talked about on one of the earlier episodes. I don't remember who it was, but we were talking about now. There's this whole like there's nutrition, there's development. Like you know what I mean? Like we understand
Nobody
all
really
this.
knew about that back
right?
then.
Yeah, 30 years ago we didn't understand
I
that.
had coaches telling me don't lift weights; it'll make you too stiff.
For sure, yeah. I mean, they were talking about that.
So the one thing I do want to put out there is, you know, the one thing that we have amazing at this academy, whether it's striking program, whether it's judo or the jiu-jitsu program, our parents here do not enable bad habits or bad behavior. And what I mean by that is, or like the attitude, like you'll see, you know, people post about their kid, you know, doing whatever. They competed against a higher belt. Oh, they choked this kid out. He lost, but he did this.
Yeah.
No. Listen, your child lost,
and that's that.
Period. Point blank. There's no excuse.
Hopefully,
back to the drawing board.
The only but is that you learned something, right? Like that's the only but. Like you lost, but did you learn something? Did you learn how to lose today? Did you learn?
Yeah, that's my thing.
You know?
To me, is if you can walk off that mat and tell me, or walk out of the cage and be like, "Hey, coach, look, I'm sorry, man, but I know what to do for next time." All right, cool. Let's work.
So
on
you
it.
learned something. Like you still lost. You still lost, right?
That's one of the
like you
best
lost.
things
That
is,
that doesn't change that. You still lost, but
that's one of the things that made it kind of easier to take L's in life, man. Is just learning how
don't
to take them
enable.
in here.
This is my thing. Don't enable whether you're a parent, coach, or whatever. oh no, it's okay, you lost. No, it's not okay.
No.
Right? But guess
We're gonna
what?
learn about that shit.
It's not okay. You're gonna learn, and we're gonna dissect this, and we're gonna surgically figure out what
figure
is
out why.
what,
Yeah.
and figure out
It
why you
sucks.
lost that
Losing
match.
sucks, right? Losing's
Absolutely.
terrible.
We're not gonna do the whole. Hey, listen. Yeah, Kalil's a blue belt. He lost that match, but he still beat up a black belt.
Yeah.
No.
he still lost.
Listen, we're not. No.
I mean, Atticus had that with this last tournament. He was super upset, and he was a little too much sore loser for my liking, and he thought I was mad at him because he lost, and I was like, look, I'm not mad that you lost. I've lost plenty.
Listen, nothing is better than Atticus's first match. Right?
my
You guys
God.
you guys weren't there for this.
You guys weren't.
We were in a grappling
No, it was
industries.
Grappling Industries.
In Oklahoma City, at this huge venue. Not really.
They sold it as a huge venue.
They
but
sold
was,
it as the Hive Sports Complex, and it was like.
It was like
in a-
it was
in a mat
basically
space,
about as
double-
big as
double-
our gym.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So everybody thought they had like 9 mats. It was going to be ginormous. They had
Had
four
four
tiny 10 by 10 mats.
Yeah.
They're little
We
10
could
by
have
10.
hosted it here.
So anyway, Atticus walks out there and he's like,
Ready to go.
no, he's ready. He's, like,
I'm serious.
he's grabbing his belt, pulling his belt, and I'm like, I gave him one thing. I'm like, hey, listen, go out there, have a good time, and let's go.
Before he went on their match, I was like, "You ready?" And he's like, boom, like punched me, like boom.
You know,
like,
his
like-
opponent came out all ready, and then the match didn't even start.
Oh God, he wouldn't even get
won.
on the mat. Wouldn't even get on the mat.
He won.
Forfeited, lost by
The
forfeit.
kid bounced.
Atticus scared the shit out of him. He lost.
That shit's half the battle,
Oh, that-
man.
it was-
That
it
mental
was-
shit.
Atticus was in that dude's head. Like he saw Atticus. He saw Atticus over there. Like I'm serious. Like he got all. He was like, like grabbed his belt. And he was,
Yeah, this was when Atticus was like 1,000% jiu-jitsu. Like, I am going to destroy people.
If you
Now
can't
he just
get out
comes
of
in
that
and just
mental
beats people up
fog,
and plays.
oh man, if you can't get out of that mental fog,
He's
you've
a-
already been defeated.
Atticus is at a weird age for jiu-jitsu because he's been doing it since he was 4, and all the kids his age are just starting jiu-jitsu for the most part, right? So it's like it's not fun for him to roll with them, right? Because they're
'Cause they're
brand
new.
new,
Right.
And then the ones that are older, they're heavier, they're bigger, and he gets
So it's
beat,
tough.
and so he loses. So he's like he's it's a weird age for him, you know? Yeah. And so I keep telling him like, look, in a couple years you're gonna get bigger, you're gonna have a lot better competition. You just gotta weed through this. You know, you've been you've been doing it 4 years. Like it's a weird age for you right now.
And you're just gonna start remembering it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he
why
has
are you
moments. You
doing
can
it?
ask Steve. Like when he shows up and he's in the game, there's not a kid his age that he can't beat in this school.
Oh yeah.
But it's getting him in that
Mindset.
that showing up to be that Atticus at that first competition.
If
you know?
you're in that mindset, like
Yeah.
kill or be killed, man, that'll flip a switch.
It's the same thing with Kenny. Like, Kenny,
Oh,
I mean,
God,
you guys have
Kenny.
seen Kenny's development.
I intentionally used to piss Kenny off because he's
yeah.
so much better when
only
he's
way.
pissed off.
If you're mad, yeah.
Like I
sometimes-
used to say things to him like, "Yeah, show me some of that green belt judo shit." Like that's terrible. What the fuck? That's not green belt. Like I would
Go in there, fuck
literally would, yeah, because he was so much better.
That's kind of how.
Yeah.
Hey, so his first like wake up call for jiu-jitsu was we went to the Machado Winter Wars, and Kenny was like, "Dad, that medal's mine already," and I'm like, "Okay, okay, all right." And his dude was like your boy,
Like a
Austin
giant-
Rice, skyscraper. So Kenny was already defeated.
Nah, fuck that.
Right, so Kenny was already like, fuck. So he started talking to Chachi on the side, and Chachi was like, hey, listen, just come on. Work just like you try to beat me up. Let's go.
David and Goliath, man.
Bro, he went in there, dropped Sanagi, boom. He mounted, couldn't get the arm bar. So as he had the one arm bar, I don't know how he transitioned to this arm all the way towards the head, north-south, and then went to the other arm.
Oh, what the fuck?
Double arm bar, then he pulled back and the tap. And I was like, you got it! So, I mean, and then he fought the rest of the division and beat him out. But, you know, we're talking about progression, you know. And Kenny went from, didn't really care about jiu-jitsu, right? Because before he was doing kickboxing with Crow. Loved it. I mean, he was tagging people just because we never did that point sparring stuff. We were just like straight up
Absolutely.
good sparring.
Each other.
Staying after class till like 9:30 at night. And Kenny's like, Dad, I want to go with the adults. And I'm like, Kenny, you're 9 years old.
Right.
You're not going with the adults.
I have that problem with Kira right now. She wants to go with the adults all the time.
Yeah.
She's at that weird size.
So then
for sure.
Kenny started heavy judo, number 4 in the country, right? Number 4 in the country, just doing amazing at green belt. and then jiu-jitsu started like really pouring into him. He had some good influences from the academy, and then Chachi came along, and he saw Chachi's transition, was like, I don't want to be fat, Dad.
Yeah.
And you saw Kenny.
Oh, for sure.
Drop
No.
weight.
Oh yeah, he got a hella speed.
Dude, he was like
got it in there.
he was like 140 at like 8 years old, just chubby.
Shit, dude.
Oh, God.
Now
yeah.
he's solid 120. Works out with James Reed.
And he's wrestling
Shout out
all
to
the
James
time.
Reed, man.
Wrestling.
Raised the bar, right?
Yeah, raise the bar. Shout out to James Reed.
For sure, man.
What's it called? So yeah, man, it's great to see the students improve. So man, seeing you, go from 3
live
years,
for that
let's say
shit,
3
man.
years jiu-jitsu, right? And you're a blue belt. How many stripes?
2, 1.
One stripe, right? And then you have a pretty good foundation when it comes to striking. And hey, training never stops. Never stop training, right?
Never
That's the
stop.
secret.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just
I
stay
don't know if y'all
consistent.
saw my story this morning, but I posted. It
Good.
was weird for me. No, not that one. The
I love
with
that
the
one.
kids.
You took it from me.
The one with the kids. and I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, the memory that you posted, yeah.
man, I remember Clayton and several of the other kids are crying and just getting all upset.
Yeah.
I used to hate that, like watching the kids. Like I felt so sorry for them, but then seeing their growth over the past year and watching, like the other day, I was watching Clayton grow. I was watching Clayton roll, and he was getting beat up the whole time. And I was just waiting and thinking,
Well,
like,
no more crying.
Didn't he
Not
cry
like
at all? I mean, I was like, dude, good job.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Good job. I can tell.
Do you see why I push the coaches to get on the mats, right, and work with these kids, because you can learn so much from these kids.
Oh yeah.
No,
They're
for sure.
teaching me. They teach all of us.
Well, that's all I got,
I
man.
think it's the best thing you can do for a kid, though, because
I'm done.
Yeah. I think it's a good spot to wrap it up. And
Yeah, we're in an hour and 11 minutes.
awesome. Well, Kalil and Tommy, I can't thank you enough.
Hey,
It's
we're
been
coming for that next dub.
That's
Halo
right.
19.
That's
That's
right.
gonna be Oklahoma's first broadcasted bare knuckle fight.
Yeah, for sure.
in that cage.
Wow.
So
now
gonna
that's a
be
sport, too.
one
But,
for the history books.
Yeah. No, Tommy, I can't thank you enough. Steve and I are indebted to you for building this
Very
program.
grateful,
and,
Me too.
you've,
Glad to do it.
Sure,
I
man.
couldn't do it anywhere else with anybody else but you two. It all just worked
and
out.
Khalil, same to you, brother. Like you've been,
Love all you guys.
Power Rangers.
you've been
Yeah. The power
seeing from when you
Rangers.
started and just where you're at now, and just you're a great person, great father,
Man, I
great
appreciate it.
husband soon to be someday.
Great example, man. Great example for your kids, man.
When's that coming?
Love it.
When's the wedding?
Man, soon.
think
So
I asked
we're
you that
thinking
last
about.
time.
We're thinking about.
I think I asked them that last time.
We're thinking
too.
about just doing a honeymoon.
It's
and
not a
doing, like,
wedding until you do it
small-
at Cohesion.
That's right.
Yeah, we haven't had one. We haven't had a wedding at Cohesion.
Oh, shit.
We've had a gender reveal.
We had a gender
It
reveal.
was Taylor Brown throwing Alex Brown.
Yeah, we had a
onto
gender reveal.
the bag and
Oh, I
exploded.
think I was there for
We
that.
had a first birthday. We had Scarlett's first birthday at
That's
the
right,
at
that's
Elm,
And she also had her first Harry Potter sorting.
Oh, nice.
Unfortunately, she's Ravenclaw.
So we need a wedding. So
We need a wedding.
Let's set it up.
I think Julia would kill him.
I think so too.
Bro, if we had one here,
But hey,
But it would be worth it.
we'll do it
for the meme.
we'll just tell her you're getting married somewhere else and then just show up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like, babe, I need you to
have
come
the
to class
priest.
with me tonight.
We'll have the priest and everything. We'll set it up. Don't let her listen to this episode.
Hey, one person we all forgot to thank, Brandon Brown over at Spot On
straight up.
Plumbing.
Shout out to Spot On
fucking
Plumbing.
If you are
sponsor,
in need of anything plumbing related, Brandon Brown, Katie, and all the Spot On crew, absolutely amazing people, great hearts, amazing parents, and they were one of the key sponsors to Kalil's fight.
had a
Also
pipe
Lift
freeze the
Lift
other
Train
day.
Fight too, right?
Yep.
Lift Train Fight,
up.
and then
Doing the uniforms.
we've got Monkey Tape.
Yep. Shout out to Julio out in California. He is my sponsor, and also we sponsor the podcast, Monkey Tape. So make sure you get on Monkey Tape.
Yeah.
Check it out. Also, Jitzilla.
I was just about to go there.
Jitzilla kimonos.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming in. This has been a fucking fun time, hilarious time. It's been enjoyable, and
Absolutely.
We're talking more shit next time.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
There's always a part two. Always.
Well,
Part
this-
two. Maybe
This is
start
gonna
a little
be.
earlier.
I feel like this is gonna be like our recurring episode, like that. Joe Rogan has fucking like Joey Diaz and all them on.
Oh, yeah.
It's
We
just
need
gonna
to
be
do a
all
fight
of us.
Where's those
Yeah.
fucking smelling
I
salts
do.
at?
I want to do a fight companion so bad. I think
down.
if the fight in May, I'm going to be home for. So let's all of us plan on doing a fight companion.
Yes.
That'd be dope.
We'll
When's
do
the next fights? May.
well, there's one in April, but I'll be gone for it. But May, there's a fight in May. We'll buy the fight and we'll do a fight companion.
Which one's Kayla?
Yeah. No, we'll buy it because we want to stream it properly.
What?
I'll pay it. I don't give a fuck. It's $80.
Freaking, so my son,
Which one's
my
Caleb
youngest
versus
son-
Holly Holmes?
300.
That's 300, but I won't be home for that one. So.
That's April.
Yeah, that's April.
Oh.
May, I don't know what's in May, but we'll
They got
we'll
one
get
all
it
the
hooked
time.
up.
As long as it's not
Yeah,
May
there's
11th,
one every
that should
month.
be good.
It'll
Because
be,
my youngest is.
There's some hard all
we'll
the
be
time.
on Saturday, but we'll definitely we can even do it on like a Saturday fight night, whatever, just a random one. But anyway, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Back here in the morning.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll be back here in the